Happy New Year! Yay! Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to, well, I don't know what to call it now. Listen, anyway, we'll get into that maybe. But yeah, so I'm Tracee Lee, your host of the, I don't even know now, right? What is it gonna be? Is it gonna be, so last year it was Conversations with Tracee Lee, right? Now, clearly, what has not changed is my name. I'm Tracee Lee. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Um, but what has changed is how I'm going to be presenting conversations. And so, Juicebox 215, which is my business, we are starting a new YouTube channel, Juicebox TV. And so the vlog cast, right? Video, vlog, whatever, podcast, is going to be featured on Juicebox TV, but we're going to be having other things on Juicebox TV as well. So I think for now, for today, for this episode, I'm just going to say, welcome to, no, Juicebox TV presents Conversations with your host, Tracee Lee. Booked a cruise, and we did all the things or whatever to get ready for our cruise and all that stuff. And we left out. We were scheduled to fly out. Now we left out of New Orleans, right? That was the plan. And Christmas Day was the day that I booked our flight to fly from Philadelphia to New Orleans so we could be on the boat Monday, and we sail off into Wonderland, and we went to Mexico, 2 stops in Mexico, and then we made our way back to New Orleans, right? Now, if you have been under a rock during the Christmas time frame, we were scheduled to fly out with Southwest, and it didn't happen. We got to the airport. And see, here's the thing, right? So let me just, now, A, there was a few reasons why I wanted to fly Southwest. B, there was a couple of reasons why I wanted to fly on Christmas. A, I wanted to fly Southwest because I didn't really want to be stressed out about luggage, as far as like paying for luggage, overage in luggage, and all the things. It's 5 of us in my family, so I didn't really want to have to deal with, the penny pinching on luggage. Right now, we've flown Frontier before, and we did phenomenal. Right, it was great, but I just really felt like, just to not be stressed out, let's go with Southwest because we can have as many bags as we need. We were going away for 10 days total. Not 10, 8 days total, right? Because we were doing 5 days on a cruise, and then we were spending time in New Orleans as well, right? And so with all of that, I just wanted to make sure everybody had enough stuff, right? Everybody had what they needed, extra this, extra that, whatever. So I didn't want luggage to be an issue. And so at the time that we were booking the flight, there was some issues with flights getting canceled across the board amongst everybody. So I'm thinking, Southwest will probably be the best opportunity, chances, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, leading up to Christmas, there was a cold front winter storm that happened all throughout the United States the entire time, right? Whatever the case may be. And so it was freezing cold when we left on Christmas, right? So that's number one. Number two, I wanted to leave on Christmas Day, and we chose to take a later flight because excuse me, we chose to take a later flight because I still wanted to wake up and have the Christmas stuff, right? You wake up now, my family, my sister, my mother, my dad, my in-laws, they bought the kids gifts, so we didn't even have to really stress ourselves out about that, right? And yeah, so we, did the whole thing. They got up, they opened up their gifts, and then the last thing was, we're going on a cruise or whatever the case may be. So we run, and that's what I wanted. So normally, right, over the years, my sister is an avid traveler, and one of her tips to me was to be on the first thing smoking. Whenever you're trying to get somewhere, take the first flight out, and 9 times out of 10, you tend to have no issues or whatever. And most of the time that is true. I did have a flight canceled on me a few years ago when I was going on a girls trip, and we were flying United, but it wasn't the first flight out, right? Anyway, so I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, I'm on the first thing smoking, and I have never had any issues since then. But listen, we know shit happens. I'm not even gonna trip about, fights getting canceled. It hurts. It sucks. It's like the worst thing ever. So fight gets canceled, and I was distraught. I was totally, utterly distraught. I didn't lose my shit in the airport like I wanted to, but I was utterly distraught when they canceled the flight. Now, mind you, we were supposed to fly out at 6. We did get a notification that we weren't going to fly out until 7:30. I want to say by 9 something that they have finally canceled the flight. So I'm like on the phone, my sister's on the phone, my brother-in-law who's meeting us on the cruise, he's having his own issues, right? But he's in Atlanta, coming out of Philly. Anyway, he's in Atlanta, but he's trying to look for flights. Everybody's looking for flights, called rental place. Nothing. There's nothing. Now, we do have a family car. It's very old, right? So I'm not really looking to drive my car, but we came home. We had to Uber back home because, we went to the airport. So we Ubered home. And as we were getting out of the car, I literally just started putting our luggage in our car, right? Everybody goes in the house. I then come in the house and I say, we're going, right? No, I'm sorry. Before that, my son loses, my oldest son, he starts crying in the airport. So I'm now, he's crying, he's doing everything I really want to do, but I'm trying to keep it together because I'm just trying to keep it's okay, it's not over, we're gonna, whatever the case. So I get home and I go upstairs. I had already said to my husband, we're probably gonna drive, and he's just like, whatever, right? He's not saying anything, which that's one of the things I love about my husband. He knows when to say something, and sometimes he doesn't, but this time he knew not to say anything. So I come in and I said, listen, honey, we're gonna go. Let's go. We're gonna drive. And so he's like, babe, he's about to give me all of the, I guess his whole spiel about why we shouldn't, And in the moment, I said to myself, if he tells me flat out no, I am literally going to lose it. He never said flat out no, so I didn't really lose it. I didn't have to literally lose it. So, but I did say to him, we got to try. We got to at least try, right? Because we literally were up against the gun. When I put in how, whatever route map was going to take us on, it was literally, we were going to get to New Orleans 3:11 New Orleans time. New Orleans is an hour behind us, right? So we were going to get there an hour behind. Anyway, we're going to get there 3:11. The boat wasn't, I knew this, but I didn't know this. Now, normally, I found this out later. Normally the boat, forget about that. The boat wasn't leaving until 5:30. That I knew, right? We found that out or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so if we get there, we drive through the night, right? It won't be so bad. The kids will be asleep. It was nighttime. It was 9:00 at night. I'm like, we'll get in the car. They'll be up for like 10 minutes after we get snacks and different things like that. They'll be asleep, and we can pretty much push through a lot of, what we need to push through, right? And so he says yes. We all get in the car. He gets some reserves, makes some snacks and stuff while I'm getting the car warmed up, because mind you, it is like 18 degrees outside in Philadelphia. And we put some oil in the car. We put some gas in the car. Now, shout out to, listen. Anyway, we put some oil in the car, put some gas in the car, and we get on the road. And we drive. And we drove 19 hours straight. Give or take of, 18 hours and some change, but 19 hours roughly, through, through the United States of America. And I'm going to say this, you guys. Now, I've lived in Georgia, and I'm from Philadelphia, so I've driven 12 hours straight as a young woman, right? No kids, no nothing, maybe with a friend in the car, maybe not. Most of the times, it was just me, right? And so, drove 12 hours, young, my eyes were fresher, So, driving long distance, not a problem for me. My husband is a phenomenal driver, and so one of the things that was really on our side is that we can contribute in driving, right? And so that was a big deal for me. Now, if I was married to somebody who's not a big driver, or if I was not a big driver, then I think the conversation would have been deaded, because there was really no other option to get there in time. But we drove, and I'm gonna be honest, today, right now, I don't even remember the overnight drive because I was fucking delirious, okay? Now, let's keep perspective. We drove out Christmas Day. Right? And Christmas Eve, though, I was up all night just getting the house ready for, the kids coming down, last minute packing and all of that kind of stuff. So literally in a 2-day time frame, I probably had about 2 hours sleep, maybe 3 in the car, right? Total 3 hours sleep. My husband's the exact same. He worked Christmas Eve, came home, took a bit of a nap, then helped out, so we didn't have any rest at all. The plan for leaving on Christmas, because we didn't cruise out or come out of the docks until Monday, we were going to get to New Orleans. We were going to check into our hotel. We would get to our hotel about 11. We would go to sleep. We would be able to check out at a respectable time. And then our check-in time wasn't until 1 o'clock. So, that was the plan. Like, I literally had planned it out as best as I could, but nonetheless. But I also remember telling my sister when we were planning that one of the reasons why I wanted to leave the day before and not the morning of the cruise, because I've done that before when I've cruised before, was just left the morning of, and you got there in time and you get on the boat, no problem, was that just in case something happened, I wanted to have enough time to do something else, if whatever something else was, right? And so in this case, we ended up driving. So we go through, we get down, and so I did call Carnival, because that's who we cruised with. I did call Carnival as we were on the road once their offices opened back up, to let them know everything that had happened. Our flight had gotten canceled, and we were trying to get down there in time to, make the cruise. I didn't know if that would help, could help, I don't know, but I also just wanted it documented that we were trying something else, because I do know that when I was onboarding us as a family onto the cruise line, they ask you, like, who are you flying? So they have information about, who's coming, who's not coming, all the things or whatever, like if something's happening, whether it be your flights getting delayed. Now, I do know that in some instances your flights are booked through your cruise line, and so sometimes as a result of that, they will hold the ship if the flight is delayed or late, anything like that. That wasn't us. I did it separate through Southwest, right? So, but I was like, what can it hurt to let somebody know? They informed us that the boat wasn't leaving until nobody informed me about the boat leaving until I was in my Facebook group. Now, but they did say, the guy made a note of it. He said, we'll see what we can do. And that was it. I said, okay. And I was happy with that. I wasn't really looking for them to say, oh, for the Rhodes family, we're not leaving. We're going to wait for you, or whatever. But I also wanted it to be, noted in the account, just in case I needed to, like, try to get a refund back, or because I didn't have any travel insurance, which I'm never going to do again. I'm going to always have travel insurance. But, just in case I needed to try to get a refund, or if it would just be credited, whatever. I just wanted to make sure I did everything on my end. So we get down, we go to, we're driving. We get to Tennessee, and the sun comes up. Thank God. Because that overnight, it was brutal. It was awful. It was utterly, utterly brutal. And I'm going to tell you, the one thing that really helped, we put on some comedy in the middle of the night on Netflix, and that really helped us to get through till the sun came up, right? Because here's the thing, my husband said it best. We had no room for anything to not happen. We had no room to get stopped by the cops. We had no room to get a flat tire. We had no room to make too many lunch breaks or anything like that. We literally stopped to get gas, went to the bathroom then, and then got whatever food and snacks we needed to get right back on the road so we could make this time frame. So now I'm in my Facebook group over, throughout the night or whatever the case may be. And so that's when I found out that the boat wasn't leaving until 5:30. So I knew the boat was leaving later, to know what time we were going to leave or whatever. No, I found this out when we were in the airport and I was figuring out how long it would take. Okay, so as a result of them leaving at 4:30, we needed to be on the boat 90 minutes before they put the doors up to let people, to do all the last minute stuff that they needed to do. So that was one of the reasons why I called, just in case, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm like, okay, we have to be there by 4:30 per the map. We were going to be there by 3:11. Well, honey, when I get up in the morning, because JD took the last of it, and so when the sun came up in the morning, now we were scheduled to get there at 4 something, and I'm like, oh my God, we're not gonna make it, right? I'm not saying this, but I'm looking at this clock like, Lord, are you kidding me? Whatever. So let me tell you, my husband once the sun came up, he made up that time. Do you hear me? So we were driving, and it was no traffic, it was no snow, it was nothing. The only thing it was really cold, as we were coming down the East Coast. And then once we got into like the once we got into Georgia, because I think we touched Georgia for just like a second, then the weather got a little bit warmer compared to where we had come from. And then we were on and on and on. And long story short, we made it to the ship at 4:20. 10 minutes, y'all. We had 10 minutes to spare. So we made it. We fucking, I'm still in awe that we made it, right? So we made it, and we did it, right? So we got on the boat, we did our thing, and everything is amazing. Right now, I will say, probably the biggest downfall of all of it was just we were tired, we were exhausted. So once we got on a boat, our friends made it, because like I said, they had their own debacle happening over there. They left out of BWI to get to Atlanta, and anyway, it was a total shit show for all of us. And then we had another family, they had no problems, right? They were the MVPs of the whole thing or whatever. And really the MVP for our family, though, was my truck. Now we have a Toyota Sequoia, 20 years old, and honey, that baby, she ain't flinch, okay? So I'll probably never get another car. Like, I'll probably forever stay loyal to Toyota and the Toyota family till the day I die, because that was just, unless somebody gives me a car, whatever. But anyway, but yeah, so that was how the Rhodes family celebrated our Christmas. And I will say that, we're, like I said, I've driven long distance when I was living in Georgia, coming home and all that kind of stuff. But being a road trip person, really not my thing. If I can fly, I will. If I can catch a bus, I will. If I can catch a train, I would prefer to do that, because driving is exhausting. Like, it's fun and it's nice and all, unless you're like, if you have a bunch of people in there driving, then it can be very exhausting to do that. And then when you have kids in the car, and they're little kids, they're not like big kids that can, whatever. Anyway, it can be a lot. But I will say, this experience was very eye-opening, because I fully enjoyed the drive. Tennessee, the route that we took going down Tennessee took my breath away, to the point where I have to get back down there just to explore so much more of Tennessee. And I've been wanting to go to Nashville and even Memphis for some years now. But now with the landscape, I absolutely want to go back to Tennessee. And so, yeah, it was very... it was awesome. It was awesome, and I'm so glad that we were able to make it. And then I didn't know Southwest was having all of these issues, because I was on a boat and I was disconnected from the world and all of that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, Southwest is like an old boyfriend groveling right now, just trying to make things right. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that they're doing that. And so, I'm disappointed, but not like I wasn't treated badly. I wasn't made to feel like it was my fault. It was a lady who was still at the ticket counter, and she was by herself, and she really just tried to do the best that she could, or whatever the case may be. So, Southwest, I don't even have a bad taste in my mouth. They're making it better, because they made it easy to get my refund back, because we did get our money back for the flight. In addition to that, we got a credit for a future flight. So, yeah, I'm very happy with Southwest, and prayerfully, this is not something that will end them. I don't think it will, but I'm looking forward to using our credit to go someplace else, because like I said, for my family, I just think that when we're going away for more than a few days, Southwest is like just the best because, like I said, luggage is not an issue for us. And so one of the things that I share all that because that was how I spent my holiday, and it was, like I said, it was great. We had a good time, and I'm looking forward to. We're planning another trip for Christmas for this year because I really enjoyed it. So we'll do something else this year for Christmas. But one of the things that I learned during this drive is, I had to try. That's the one thing I just kept saying to my husband as we were slightly debating on what we were going to do. I just kept saying, I have to try. I have to try. And the one thing that I realized also was that even if we didn't make the flight, we were in New Orleans. So we would have just enjoyed New Orleans while we were there. You know what I'm saying? So all was not lost, right? Thankfully, we had some money to do that. But that didn't even happen because we ended up getting there on time. And so it made me realize how many times I've gotten in my own way just in life, my personal life, my professional life when I was working for somebody else, and even in my professional life when I work for myself. There have been many, many times that, there's been an opportunity, and just on the strength of, I don't think I'm qualified or I don't think that I'm ready, I didn't even apply to the job. So the one thing I realize now, and even over the years, is that by not applying, I'm already out of the conversation. I'm already out of the race, right? And so pushing myself, we pushed, y'all. When I tell you, both my husband and I were exhausted driving, but we pushed through, right? And then the other part of it was, I was talking to my mother-in-law, and she said, y'all did it together. And I was just like, you are absolutely so right. And I don't know if anybody's going to be able to relate to this, but there have been times in my entrepreneur journey that I forget that I'm not doing it by myself. Yeah, I may be doing this task by myself. I may be doing the planning or whatever it may be alone, but I'm not doing this journey alone because I have my husband, and my husband is a huge part of Juicebox. He is my partner in Juicebox, even though he's like not on the paperwork, but he is my partner in Juicebox, and I can't even take it away from him, even if I wanted to. But this trip for Christmas really highlighted how when you push through and when you do it together, listen, you will make it. And we made it. And again, it's just a figuratively thing, but we made it in time, with time to spare. Not a lot, but with time to spare to, participate in all that we have desired for the trip, right? And to show the experiences to our children. And then here is the icing on all of the cake. My children saw us do it anyway, and we did it together, my husband and I. They absolutely saw it. What will they remember from that will yet to be seen. What will they take away from that, if anything? I don't know. But the one thing that I'm learning about with my children is that I have to be the example. I can't just tell them what to do. I have to show them what to do, not just in the task, but showing them in my own actions. And to end my year of 2022, which has been an amazing year. It really has. Like, yes, it's been some things that, overwhelmed and took longer than blah, 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 whatever. But 2022 was amazing. It was, and it set the tone for all that I've been asking for in my life since I decided to take my business full time. And to end my year in a personal way, to stretch myself in ways that I've never done before, for real, and to show that on the other side of that 18-hour drive, we were able to participate in something that we had planned for. And then even after the fact, we're still getting wins after. Like I said, we got refunds and all this other kind of stuff from Southwest as a result of just pushing through. And so it was just a huge, huge lesson for me, and something that I'm going to take into 2023. And So, with all of that, I'm taking that same energy and I'm putting it into my professional life in addition to my personal life. There's a lot of things that's going to be coming down the pipe for me professionally and personally, that I'm taking on, because God showed me what all I can do if I just keep coming. Just keep going, right? Whatever it is you want for yourself, just keep going, and all will be revealed as you go through the journey. And so one of the things that I love Gary Vee, I've talked about him before. I'm gonna talk about him. He'll be mentioned forever. But one of the things that Gary Vee has been preaching a lot, I hate to say preaching, but what he's been talking a lot about lately is falling in love with the journey. And I fell in love with the journey of being an entrepreneur many years ago, and each time that something else comes, I have to fall in love with that, because it's not about the end goal. It's not about making the cruise, even though clearly that was the goal, but the drive was amazing. And now we may mess around and start taking more road trips, maybe not 18 hours, but we might not be so closed off. So the drive taught me a lot. So many things are coming for Tracee Lee and Juicebox 215. But I'm going to just end it there, because you'll see what's coming, because you'll be hearing from the next, I'll be, having my next vlogcast or whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, so I just wanted to say again, Happy New Year's, you guys. I'm looking forward to all that 2023 has for all of us. And if you liked what you saw, it was definitely storytelling. But if you like what you saw, definitely subscribe, because there will be more conversations with Tracee Lee coming this season. And yeah, more from Juicebox 215. So with that, thank you so much, and I will see you on the next episode.